What's going on, Lego Maniacs? It's Ty, the Lego guy here, and welcome to another Lego Star Wars review. Today we're taking a look at the Justifier. That's set 75323. It has 1,022 pieces, 5 minifigures, retails for $169.99, and it came out in 2022. This is a mixed bag. A lot of different opinions on this set. Some people really like it, some people don't, others feel it's overpriced. We're gonna get into its positives and negatives and see where it stands, and most importantly, whether you should make the buy. I really like large scale or larger scale Star Wars ships that are unique, like the Malevolence, the Ghost, and this kind of falls into that category. So we're obviously gonna break it down and just kind of get the feel of it. Again, there is a lot of different opinions about this set, but enough talk, let's get right into it. And we'll start by taking a look at the box art. And as you can see, it's quite a large box. I like the background. This kind of reminds me of Bespin. And then moving to the side of the box, it just shows the ship off a little bit more. And then on the back, it gets into some of the ship's features. This landing mechanism is really cool, and it has a decent interior, but it could be a bit larger, as we'll get into in this review. And it has an area to hide the spring-loaded shooters, or to store them, I should say. Probably the least good feature in my opinion. Moving to the side of the box, it just says Lego Star Wars. On the top, we have Cad Bane, really cool minifigure. We'll show him off obviously in the review segment. And then on the bottom, just the barcode and all that good stuff. The other thing I want to mention too is I like the fact that they have the Bad Batch in the bottom left corner. Just adds a little bit more to the artwork. Let's now take a look at the ship. And we'll begin by giving you guys a 360 view of the Justifier. Before we do that, I do want to show off the one smaller build that's included. As you can see, we have some Imperial Bounty, and it just adds a little bit more to the set. There's a little plant there, along with, I'm not sure what this is supposed to be, but yeah, it just adds a little bit more character to it, I guess. That's what this episode is about. There's bounty for Omega, and yeah, this is part of it. But then getting back into the ship, it is quite large, like surprisingly large. This is it's nearly 2 feet in length and a little over a foot in width, which makes it about half a meter in length and maybe a third of a meter in width. It's definitely big. Check out those engines. They just look awesome. This would be an awesome ship to kind of light up. And yeah, I was very surprised just because 1,000 pieces, you wouldn't think that it's that large of a set. It is. It's definitely not small. It also is quite unique. The most ship that this maybe looks similar to is maybe the Razor Crest, but really it's quite different. And I like that. It adds a little bit more uniqueness to your ship collection. Let's now break it down area by area. And the first area that we'll kind of center in on is just going to be the cockpit. This is what it looks like. You can kind of see Cad Bane through the window, but it's not so easy. Would be nice if it was a little bit clearer, but I mean, that's not bad, right? And then the other thing too, if you guys are wondering, it does have spring-loaded shooters, and they work like so. There are some stickers on this set, as you can see on the head, but there's not too many, which is nice. And then making our way to the rear of the ship, this is one of my favorite parts. Just those engines look fantastic. Also, take a look at the greebling. Just the detail right here. I think that looks awesome. Makes it a little bit more realistic, right? Unnecessary, but it definitely adds some realism to the ship. This obviously looks like it's part of the engine and, just the guts of it. Now, we'll get into that. I'll get into that as we continue through this review. Now, the main feature with this ship is its landing feature. So if you want to put it in landed mode, you can just lower the main engine, and you guys saw that? It brings out landing gear. And I thought that was really smart. Now it's landed, but as you guys can see, this mechanism takes tons and tons of space. So much Technic is put into kind of building that and making it work. Works great, but again, it takes a lot of interior space, which we will get into now. Now, if you're wondering what the interior to this ship looks like, let's show that off. If you want to get to the interior, you just lift off this plate, and there it is. I will say that the interior to the ship is quite nice. There's Cad Bane, you have an area to kind of store his blasters. Let's just remove him so you get a little bit better view. Love the detail to that seat. There's also some thermal detonators along with a lightsaber, which I thought was quite cool. And they also have Omega in her prison cell, and you can lift it just like so. And it's a good little interior, but my main issue with this is it could have been so much larger. That's how much interior space this takes. Now, if they didn't have that mechanism where you can put it in landed mode, or if it was a little bit simpler, you could have made this interior twice as big. Again, not a big deal. I do think that the interior does what it's supposed to, but it just would have been nice, right? Like, it would have just added a little bit more to the ship. This is huge. And the fact that that's all the interior space is kind of crazy. Again, just there's so much more space in there, right? The other thing that I wanted to mention is they have an area to store flick fire missiles, or spring-loaded shooters, I should say, on either side. It also gives you a little bit better view of all the technic that was put into this ship to kind of make this landing mechanism work. Again, I don't think it's a bad play feature. I just think that it takes a little bit too much interior space. Overall though, I do like this ship. It's very, very unique. I wouldn't be surprised if this is worth quite a bit on the aftermarket once the ship does retire. And then getting into this engine a little bit more. I wanted to mention that they kind of use illegal building techniques. Why I say that is you'll notice they have some plates that are placed right in between another plate. That's known as an illegal building technique. Just to show that off. That's how it's kind of constructed. I just generally never see Lego do stuff like that. Again, it's not terrible, but yeah, it's kind of interesting that they did do that with this model. Last thing I want to show off before we get into the minifigures is just the underbelly of this ship. That's what it kind of looks like as we shoot off the other spring-loaded shooter. Overall though, pretty decent ship. Definitely not perfect, but do like the uniqueness of it, and that landing feature is pretty cool. It just takes up, again, a lot of interior room. Let's now take a look at the minifigures. And here we have the first three minifigures, which is Omega, Cad Bane, along with Teo. These three are probably the best that are included, and they are, as of now, exclusive to this ship. As you can see, Omega even has arm printing, which is really great. And then she also has back torso printing along with Cad Bane. And that's what her back face printing looks like. And having removed Cad Bane's breathing mechanism, that's at least what I'm assuming it is, get a little bit better view of his back torso printing, along with his front torso printing. Again, the detail on these three figures is awesome. Teo is quite a cute little droid. And then Cad Bane, he even has leg printing. Omega has arm printing. And take a look at that thermal detonator. That again is one of my favorite printed pieces. Let's now take a look at the final two, which is Fennec Shan and Hunter. These are also quite detailed. The only thing is they have been included in a number of other sets. Fennec Shan also has arm printing, and they both have back torso printing. In fact, let's show off their back face printing, and then their front face printing. So pretty detailed minifigures. It's just we've got Hunter before, and Fennec Shan is in so many sets. What's also cool about them is they do include hair pieces, so if you want to swap out their helmets, you can. Just adds a little bit more to the set. But overall, these are definitely pretty decent. They both have leg printing as well. Let's now get into the end of the review and get my final thoughts. Well guys, that was my review. Do hope you enjoyed it. Personally, I like this set. I think it's unique. I love the engines on it. As far as, you know, it's a bigger ship too. It's definitely a lot bigger than I thought it was. I mean, the box is substantial, but again, sometimes you build the set from the box and it's a lot smaller. This is a pretty hefty ship. It uses a lot of big bricks. That's why there's only 1,000 pieces in this set. So I don't really think it's overpriced, but I think that if you get it on sale, go out and buy it. My main complaint with this is just the interior size. I think that the engine mechanism, making this land is kind of cool, but the fact that they use so much interior space to kind of make that work is kind of a letdown. This interior could have been twice as big. So that is my one qualm with this set. But again, it's not enough to make me not buy it. It could be improved on a little bit more, especially if you're like me and you like interior room. But as always, guys, let me know what your personal thoughts are on this one. If you like it, if you don't, any areas you think they could maybe improve on it. Always interested to hear your guys' take. But that pretty well does the review. But if you liked it, leave it a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing and click that bell so you're notified for any future Lego Star Wars reviews, comparisons. We do one of them every single Tuesday, and it's one of my favorite series to do just because I'm a huge Lego Star Wars or Star Wars fan. But that's all I got for you again. But thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.